understand. He's crazy.
Who's crazy?
Hello, Doc.
So we are talking about the movie I Know You're In There. This one written and directed by Robert Lawson Gordon. This one will be released by Terror Films in 2017, made in 2016, and it's a slow burn paranormal movie. So let's talk about the plot. It focuses on this young man as he is told that his mother has passed away, and his mother is estranged. He's not spoke to her from years and years. And she's left in this kind of like house in the middle of nowhere. This cabin in the woods, the good old cabin in the woods. Also, he finds out he's got this sister that he never knew that he had, and she is catatonic. She's essentially this can't move, can't speak, and she just sits in a wheelchair and stares out the window. So he's meeting her for the first time. He decides what he's going to do. He wants to try and kind of connect to her. So he decides to take her to this kind of house and try and look after himself. He has slightly selfish reasons as well. He's kind of trying to make this documentary about this kind of experience of kind of looking after his sister and the challenges and everything. So he is tinged with a kind of element of selfishness. Now, once he's there, strange things start to happen, and it could be any number of things. It could be that this guy has simply got some kind of inherent madness in him, as there is evidence to point towards that. It could be that there is some kind of paranormal entity either attached to Chloe, who is their sister, or in the house itself. Alternatively, it could even be Chloe herself, maybe faking this whole thing, and is she actually perfectly, capable of doing stuff herself and has somewhat of a murderous rampage among her? We'll have to watch the movie to find out. So, like I said, this is a slow build movie. It's more of a kind of a supernatural drama rather than a horror film. So I do feel some people will be put off maybe by the pace of this film, because it is a bit slow. And I've got to say, some of the critiques that I've seen of this film is that the central actor, the main guy, is described as unlikable. I've got to say, I actually disagree with that. I actually think he was somewhat actually realistically portrayed. He's not a perfect guy. He seems perfectly all right, if you ask me, like a regular guy. But he takes, he gets this opportunity to spend some time with his sister, and he does all the work. But at the same time, he thinks, what I'll do also, as I'll kind of film it all and make this kind of documentary. One kind of little side note, the main guy here, he has got one of the most distracting voices I've ever heard, because he sounds like he should be voicing cartoon characters. He's got this real kind of like booming kind of voice, and you can just imagine him voicing some kind of SpongeBob SquarePants, cartoon or something. It's not really a critique. It's just natural voice, and it sounds like it should be a voiceover actor for a cartoon show or something. But anyway, I digress. What I did like about the movie is you don't really know what's going on. So you're taken on this kind of ride, and as the characters are finding out stuff, you find out stuff as well. And we're left right up to the end, really, to find out what's actually happening. I mean, it could be any number of things that are happening, and there's evidence to support all of them. So it's really a kind of a supernatural mystery that will keep you guessing right up until the end. So I kind of really like that. So it does make it a somewhat of a unique premise, to be honest. And one that will keep you intrigued. Now, I feel that the girl who plays Chloe, even though she's just sitting there for the majority of the film, she does have this kind of real air of menace about her, and that's fair to say. That's part of it, is the kind of the camera work and the makeup and everything as well. But man, it's pretty good in regards to that kind of stuff. It just, there's this air of menace, and I thought also what's really worked for this movie is the setting, and there's kind of like cabin in the woods, and yeah, it's another cabin in the woods movie, but it really does kind of have this kind of like mystic feel to it. So I really did like that, and apparently they actually incorporated local legends into the story, which I thought was quite fun. Overall, I've got to say, it's certainly an interesting film in regard to its premise. I do feel it maybe doesn't pay off quite as much as you're going to want, and maybe some people will be put off by the kind of the slow pace. It's not a flashy film. There's not lots of kind of ghostly effects on screen. There's not much in regards to things like jump scares and stuff like that. But it's a solid premise. that has kind of got a air of kind of disturbing malice to it. So it kind of really does kind of get under your skin to a certain degree. So I kind of thought it was pretty good. Overall, I'll give this movie a 6 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment, and I shall look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.